does consuming spiritual content online actually keep you stuck? I want to talk about two topics today. I want to talk about the twin flame journey and predictive tarot readings and how these things can be used as tools to help you find clarity, peace, purpose along your spiritual journey, but how there can also be a darker side to these things and how these things can be used as portals to siphon your energy and keep you stuck, keep you from ascending to your next level. So let's talk first about the twin flame journey. And as with all spiritual concepts, as with, the entire concept of the spiritual community, which is a very broad umbrella online, I always feel that there's a duality to most things. There are people who are peddling these concepts because they want to keep your attention, right? Like it's like almost like a drug, an addictive drug. And then there are people that are teaching these concepts from a space of truly trying to empower you and educate you and help you along your path. And so it's up to you to use your discernment to decide whether what you are consuming is falling into one of those categories. So when it comes to the twin flame journey, there's already, documentaries out there talking about manipulative cult leaders that have kind of ensnared people into this concept of finding this divine love, finding your divine counterpart. And if you watch those documentaries, it gets pretty insidious, the things that they are able to convince people to do in order to kind of sell this story of coming into union with your counterpart. And the reason for that is because this is one of the deepest pain points that you can touch on in a human being is that desire to find love, that desire to feel worthy, that desire to feel chosen. And I think that people who also have experienced a lot of difficulty in relationships, a lot of trauma, they may be more prone to these kind of fantastical ideas of love returning in this grandiose way, or there being sort of this fairy tale fantasy element to it. But I don't think, with all of that said, that the concept, I try to not use the terminology of twin flame because I think that terminology has been really tarnished with a lot of darkness. I prefer personally the terms divine counterparts. And what I resonate with when I talk about the concept of a divine counterpart is the embodiment of a relationship of two people who are living truly as their highest selves. So they have come into the highest divine alignment with their soul's truth, and they have come into alignment with one another to create something big in the world. And I absolutely think that is real and that exists. And that's why I do this channel and talk about this concept of conscious partnership, is hopefully providing the tools to embody your own highest self so that you can then attract a mirror to that, someone who is going to elevate you higher, and it's someone who is kind of destined to do that with you in this lifetime. And so I do believe absolutely in love as magic, love as miracles, love as divine destiny. I do believe that you can have felt that in your soul through your entire lifetime guiding you. So the concept of, a relationship that exists in the energetics before it manifests into the physical, I am absolutely 100% on board with that. But when we start to get into the realms of explaining toxicity away by calling it divine separation or whatever it may be, that's where I think that this gets a little bit hairy, because that is kind of the concept of the twin flame journey, is that you go into separation from this person and that eventually this person is going to return, right? You are going to realign with your divine counterpart twin flame. And it's yes, maybe for some people that is true. Maybe you have had a divinely orchestrated separation that has, within that separation, you have both been forged into new levels of growth and expansion so that you can then come back together at another point in time and be fully ready and aligned on an energetic level to be together. I do not think that the twin flame journey, the divine counterpart journey, applies to toxicity, dysfunction, abuse. And I think that that's where, and also again, here's this opportunity always to invite in discernment, right? Because only you can know if you are actually listening to your own intuition. Only you can know if you are holding on to something that is a fantasy inside of your head that's not rooted in reality in any sense, right? And so this is where this kind of consumption of this content and this is where I'll kind of like weave in this predictive tarot content as well. It's like, if you are seeking to understand something, like you feel that something is missing in your life and you're trying to figure out why that is, these predictive tarot readings and these messages about separation, all this stuff, it can be like a temporary band-aid that like makes that wound, that longing, hurt a little bit less, right? But we have to start to notice when do we become addicted to that feeling, like addicted to that feeling of being told that this is all going to work out for you, like everything that you're thinking is all true. And, when does that become a crutch as opposed to you actually surrendering into your relationship with God? Because what I will say is that when you are confused in your life, when something is creating confusion in your life, that confusing energy is a lower vibrational energy that pulls you from your connection to faith, your connection to light, your connection to God, your connection to source. And so when we are in this state of confusion and we are seeking from that place to find answers, sometimes, these, just like any sort of addiction, it's like this energy lures you in where it's like, here, watch this video that tells you, everything that you're thinking is correct and everything that you believe is true. It's like it gives you that feeling of certainty as opposed to just being able to allow yourself to surrender in the uncertainty, to know that you are held, to know that you are loved, to just trust without validation, without any sort of, manifestation in the physical world, to just be able to trust that life is going to align for you. And so we have to take notice of when we stop using these things as tools, because predictive tarot videos can be a great tool for, like, first and foremost, learning how to use tarot, like learning how to discern your own intuition, how to listen to your own intuition. Like that is what I think those videos are the best practical use for. And also, hearing if you do feel kind of alone in your spiritual journey, it's like finding other people out on the internet that kind of like speak your same language and are giving language to experiences and feelings that you're having that you otherwise wouldn't be able to have with anybody else in your life. Like, I think that can be like really comforting and also really teach you a lot about yourself and kind of give you the opportunity to self-reflect. But we just have to notice, like, when are we relying on this content to provide something to us that we should actually be kind of working to find within us, right? So your intuition is always going to be your greatest guide, not somebody else's intuition. Somebody else's intuition is going to be able to open you up to new ways of looking at things and new possibilities. And this is another point that I will make. You always want to be flexible in what you believe. I think that this is one of the most powerful ways to move through life. So if you watch something. Let's say that you are introduced to the twin flame journey and you are absorbing this content and you're like, oh my God, this is my story. Like, this really resonates for me and this is my story. And you have attached that to that belief and you have dug it into your identity. You have believed it so fully that it's now integrated into who you are and the way you see yourself. And this can be true for so many things. And this is why I always feel like you should be examining what you believe. And if you have believed something for a long time, revisit it. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to decide, actually, this story served its purpose and now it doesn't benefit me anymore. So I'm ready to let it go, right? Like, be flexible in what you believe and what you attach yourself to, because that is powerful right there, to be able to decide, like, in this moment, I change. In this moment, I transform. Like, in this moment, I am open to new and different information and perspectives because I am not attached to this concept that defines my identity. Like, my identity can be fluid, it can be shifting, it can be transforming. Because the tighter you are holding on to things, the harder it is for you to grow, for you to change, for you to experience something different. And I think that is truly important if you feel like you've been kind of on this path of separation from somebody and it's not materializing for you, and you have to kind of come back and touch back in and be like, is it time for me to let go of this now? Is it time for me to be open to a new experience of love entering my life? So I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk with you again soon.